Itachi Uchiha remains one of the most beloved characters in Naruto. His genius-level intellect, devastating techniques, and tragic story captivated fans worldwide. But throughout his appearances, one question lingered. Just how powerful could Itachi have been without his terminal illness? Today, we explore this question using only verified canonical information to build a solid case. The illness that changed everything. In Chapter 401, Obito revealed that Itachi suffered from a terminal illness. The specific disease was never named in the manga, but the symptoms were clear: coughing up blood, chest pain, and shortness of breath. According to Obito, Itachi used various medicines to extend his life, keeping himself alive through sheer willpower so he could die by Sasuke's hand. The illness had severe consequences. The official databooks rated Itachi's stamina at just 2.5 out of 5 points, directly attributed to his condition. For context, this stamina rating was among the lowest for any major Akatsuki member, despite Itachi being one of their strongest fighters. His compromised physical state meant reduced endurance, weakened strength, and diminished speed compared to what he could achieve at full health. During his final battle with Sasuke, the effects became impossible to ignore. Zetsu, who observed the entire fight, noted that Itachi appeared weakened before the battle even started. More tellingly, Zetsu remarked that Itachi failed to dodge attacks he normally would have avoided with ease. The illness wasn't just limiting Itachi's stamina, it was actively impairing his combat performance in real time. Don't forget to subscribe for more Naruto analysis and debates. Itachi's genius and abilities. To understand what Itachi could achieve at full health, we need to examine his established capabilities. The databooks paint a picture of an extraordinary shinobi. Itachi received a perfect 5 out of 5 inches intelligence, placing him in the highest tier alongside characters like Shikamaru, Kakashi, Orochimaru, and the legendary Sannin. In fact, Itachi is tied with Jiraiya for having the highest total stat points across all databook categories, both achieving 35.5 out of a possible 40 points. His genius manifested early and consistently. By age 7, Itachi graduated from the Ninja Academy with scores surpassing his teachers. Official profiles describe him as having Hokage-level insight at a very young age. An extraordinary claim considering most Hokage don't achieve their positions until their 30s or 40s. He wasn't just academically gifted, he understood the nature of conflict and the weight of leadership before most children even graduate the academy. He mastered the Sharingan by age 8, an achievement that normally takes Uchiha clan members years longer to accomplish. He became a Chunin at 10, and was appointed ANBU captain at just 13, the youngest in Konoha's history. This wasn't just book smarts. Itachi demonstrated tactical genius in every fight, quickly analyzing opponent abilities and formulating counter strategies on the fly. His ability to think several moves ahead made him exceptionally dangerous in combat scenarios. In combat, Itachi wielded 3 devastating Mangekyo Sharingan techniques. His left eye granted Tsukuyomi, a genjutsu that manipulates the target's perception of time. According to the databooks and canon demonstrations, Tsukuyomi can compress days of subjective torture into an instant of real time. When Itachi used this technique on Kakashi during their first encounter in Part 1, it left the copy ninja hospitalized, despite the genjutsu lasting only a fraction of a second in real time. Kakashi experienced what felt like 72 hours of torture in that brief moment. The technique requires significant chakra and strains the user's eyes, making it inadvisable to use repeatedly. Only those with Sharingan bloodline have any chance of resisting it, and even then, only the most skilled can break free. The second databook explicitly states that Tsukuyomi can only be defeated by Sharingan users, who have reached particularly high degrees of skill. Victims typically fall into a comatose state after experiencing the full effects of Tsukuyomi, and the psychological damage can be severe and lasting. His right eye possessed Amaterasu, black flames said to be as hot as the sun that burn continuously until the target is completely incinerated. Water and conventional methods cannot extinguish these flames, as they are chakra-based rather than normal fire. The databooks state Amaterasu burns for 7 days and nights, and the technique proved powerful enough to pierce through Jiraiya's fire-resistant summoning Toadmouth Bind. The flames spread to whatever they touch, and cannot be put out by conventional means, making them one of the most dangerous offensive techniques in the series. Itachi could direct the flames with his eye movements, allowing him to track and burn targets even if they tried to dodge. After awakening both Mangekyo abilities, he could manifest Susanoo. The databooks originally stated that mastery of both Mangekyo techniques was required for Susanoo, though later developments showed other paths existed. Itachi's Susanoo possessed two legendary weapons, the Totsuka Blade, an ethereal sword that seals whatever it pierces into an eternal genjutsu world, and the Yata Mirror, described as adapting its chakra nature to neutralize incoming attacks. The Totsuka Blade is often called the Sword of Totsuka, and was described as one of 3 legendary weapons. Unlike normal swords, it has no physical form. It exists as a liquid sealed within a sake gourd held by Susanoo's third arm. When manifested, the blade can cut through anything and simultaneously seal the target into an eternal genjutsu prison. Itachi used this blade to seal Orochimaru when he attempted to take Sasuke's body, and later to seal Nagato during the Fourth Great Ninja War. The Yata Mirror operates differently. Rather than blocking attacks through physical durability, it changes its own chakra nature to match incoming attacks, rendering them ineffective. Zetsu and the databooks describe it as being able to adapt to and neutralize various types of attacks. Zetsu declared this combination made Itachi's Susanoo essentially invincible, possessing both perfect offense and perfect defense. However, these techniques came at tremendous cost. Using Mangekyo Sharingan abilities placed immense strain on the eyes, progressively leading toward blindness. They also required substantial chakra reserves. Susanoo, in particular, demanded constant chakra to maintain and took a severe toll on the user's body. By his final battle, Itachi was nearly blind from years of Mangekyo usage, combined with his illness. The Sasuke fight, a compromised performance. The fight between Itachi and Sasuke provides our clearest evidence of how much the illness limited him. Zetsu's observations are particularly important because, as a sensor-type ninja, he could accurately assess both fighters' conditions and chakra levels. Multiple times during the battle, Zetsu noted Itachi's degraded state. When Sasuke landed hits that seemed unlikely, Zetsu specifically commented that Itachi should have dodged those attacks easily under normal circumstances. This wasn't speculation, it was direct observation from someone analyzing the fight in real time. The battle's conclusion further illustrated Itachi's limitations. After using Susanoo to block Sasuke's Kirin technique, Itachi approached his brother and then collapsed, dying from exhaustion. The manga makes clear that both the illness and the strain from using Susanoo contributed to his death. The databooks confirm that Susanoo consumes its user, and we later saw even a healthy Sasuke bleeding from using just the ribcage version of the technique. Obito later revealed to Sasuke that Itachi had been holding back throughout their fight. Itachi's goal was never to kill Sasuke but to free him from Orochimaru's curse mark and set up circumstances for Sasuke's growth. This means even while severely ill and nearly blind, Itachi maintained enough control to choreograph the entire encounter according to his plan. Edo Tensei, the Healthy Itachi. The Fourth Great Ninja War provided an opportunity to see Itachi without his illness through Edo Tensei reanimation. While Edo Tensei has limitations, reanimated shinobi were initially weaker than their living selves until Kabuto perfected the technique. It also granted significant advantages. Kabuto's perfected version brought reincarnated shinobi very close to their original power levels, with only specific abilities like becoming a Ten-Tails Jinchuriki remaining restricted. According to multiple canon sources, including statements from Kabuto and Madara, Edo Tensei provides effectively unlimited chakra through rapid regeneration. The technique doesn't grant truly infinite reserves at once, but regenerates chakra so quickly that users can fight indefinitely. Reanimated shinobi also heal automatically from any injury. Most relevant to Itachi's case, sicknesses do not carry over to the reanimated body. Edo Itachi represented what Itachi could do without his terminal illness. Edo Itachi demonstrated his capabilities against Sage Mode Kabuto, one of the war's most dangerous opponents. Kabuto had enhanced himself with DNA from Orochimaru, Jugo, Suigetsu, Karin, and all 5 members of the Sound Four. He had mastered the White Snake Sage Mode, placing him among the elite few who achieved Sage Mode mastery. His arsenal included techniques from all his DNA donors. His Sage Mode sensing let him fight without relying on sight, effectively neutralizing visual genjutsu and directly countering the Sharingan. The fight showcased what Itachi could accomplish without illness-related limitations. Despite Kabuto's formidable abilities and the advantage of fighting in his own prepared cave system, Itachi and Sasuke forced him onto the defensive. Itachi demonstrated superior speed and tactical thinking throughout the engagement. When Kabuto managed to land killing blows on Itachi multiple times, the Edo Tensei regeneration simply restored him something his sick body could never have endured. Ultimately, Itachi defeated Kabuto using Izanami, a forbidden Uchiha technique that traps the target in an infinite loop until they accept their true self. The technique required Itachi to allow Kabuto to strike him multiple times to set up the loop's conditions. Without Edo Tensei's regeneration, attempting this strategy would have been fatal. This fight demonstrated that Edo Tensei Itachi could handle a top-tier opponent alongside Sasuke. Analyzing the evidence. So, what can we reasonably conclude about a healthy Itachi's power level based on canon? Several key points emerge from the evidence. First, his illness directly reduced his stamina to 2.5 out of 5 inches, the databooks. Sick Itachi could not fight extended battles without severe consequences. The fight with Sasuke, which lasted 1 episode in anime time, left him exhausted enough that the illness killed him. A healthy Itachi would possess dramatically better endurance. Second, his illness affected his ability to dodge and react in combat. Zetsu's observations during the Sasuke fight make this explicit. Without the illness impairing his physical capabilities, Itachi's already formidable combat speed and reactions would improve substantially. Third, the illness forced Itachi to be extremely conservative with his most powerful techniques. Using Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, or Susanoo placed strain on his body that his weakened state could barely handle. The databooks note that Tsukuyomi requires a great deal of chakra, making it inadvisable for Itachi to continue fighting after using it. His low stamina meant these techniques became last resort options rather than tools he could employ more freely. Fourth, his declining eyesight from both illness and Mangekyo usage severely limited him by the time he fought Sasuke. The canon explicitly states Itachi was nearly blind during this battle. A healthy Itachi earlier in his life, before years of Mangekyo strain, would have had significantly better vision and therefore better effectiveness with his techniques. The Edo Tensei evidence provides our clearest window into Itachi without illness. While Edo Tensei has its own limitations, removing the stamina problem and physical deterioration allowed Itachi to fight at a level that could handle Sage Mode Kabuto. Notably, later in the war, statements and narrative presentations suggest healthy Edo Itachi operated at a level where he remained relevant against increasingly powerful opponents. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Itachi's potential, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below with your thoughts on how strong a healthy Itachi would be. The counter-arguments. Some argue that Itachi's illness didn't matter much because his intelligence and techniques would allow him to win fights quickly anyway. However, this ignores that Itachi's most powerful techniques, the ones that would enable quick victories, were exactly what his illness prevented him from using freely. His low stamina meant he had to end fights fast, but ending fights fast required techniques that drained his limited stamina. Others point out that Obito stated Itachi was holding back against Sasuke, suggesting the illness wasn't the main limiting factor in that fight. This is true, but the two factors aren't mutually exclusive. Itachi held back his killing intent and orchestrated circumstances for Sasuke's benefit, while the illness simultaneously prevented him from fighting at his true capacity. Both limitations affected the fight. Some fans cite Itachi's own statement to Kisame that Jiraiya would be too much for them to handle, suggesting Itachi wasn't that powerful even at full strength. However, multiple factors complicate this. Itachi was secretly trying to protect Jiraiya as a Konoha loyalist and may have been discouraging Kisame from starting an unnecessary fight. Additionally, this statement came when Itachi was already ill, so his assessment may have factored in his own limitations. The databooks rating both Itachi and Jiraiya at 35.5 total points suggests they were comparable overall, though with different specializations. The realistic assessment. Based purely on canonical information, a healthy Itachi would represent a significant power increase over his sick version. The magnitude of this increase stems from multiple compounding factors. His stamina would rise from 2.5 to likely 4 or higher based on typical elite shinobi ratings. This translates to ability to fight longer battles and use more techniques without exhausting himself. The Susanoo alone, which consumes its user, becomes far more viable when the user isn't already weakened. His speed, strength, and reaction time would no longer be impaired by physical deterioration. Zetsu's observations confirm these attributes were noticeably reduced by illness. Returning to normal levels would make Itachi even more difficult to hit, and more dangerous when he did strike. His ability to use Mangekyo techniques would increase substantially. While these techniques would still strain his eyes and require chakra, a healthy body could better withstand it. He could potentially use Tsukuyomi or Amaterasu multiple times in a fight, rather than treating each use as a serious risk. His vision would be better, particularly if we consider a healthy Itachi before years of accumulated Mangekyo degradation. The Sharingan's effectiveness directly correlates with visual acuity, so better eyesight means better utilization of all his techniques. Perhaps most importantly, the psychological burden of fighting while knowing each technique brings you closer to death would be lifted. Sick. Itachi had to constantly calculate whether any given technique was worth the cost to his deteriorating body. Healthy Itachi could fight more decisively and aggressively. Conclusion. The canonical evidence supports that Itachi without his illness would have been substantially more powerful than his sick version. While exact power levels are speculative, the compounding benefits of better stamina, physical capabilities, technique usage, and vision represent major improvements. The tragedy of Itachi's character is that we only saw him at his peak for a brief time in his youth, before illness and the burden of his mission began wearing him down. His genius and devastating techniques made him formidable even while dying, but they also hint at what could have been. A healthy Itachi represents not just a stronger fighter, but a more complete picture of the prodigy, who achieved everything young and was acknowledged as exceptional even among the Uchiha clan's elite. The illness didn't define Itachi's character, but it absolutely limited the full expression of his abilities that fans wanted to see. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.